All right. Good evening, Facebook. It is great to be here on a Monday night. It's about 7 o'clock by Central Standard Time, which is Missouri time. We're going to hang out here for just a minute. We'll let some people get online with us. Got another fun Station MD Facebook Live event. Today's been a busy day for everybody. I've spent the majority of the day in the car, my other office. It's a good day. Dr. Unadkat, where are you? Where do you live again?
Yeah, so I am right now in New Jersey on the East Coast and right outside of New York City.
So is it cold? Is it warm?
It's weird. Some days it's cold, some days it's warm. It's sort of in that transition. So we have I like the fact that we have four seasons, and fall is one of my favorite. It is my favorite season. So today it's getting colder. So we woke up and it was in the 50s, high 50s, and now it's going down into the 40s throughout the day. So it
it's
will.
fall-y.
Yeah, definitely. All the leaves are off the trees, so it's definitely falling.
Did they turn colors or did they just fall off?
No, they turn colors. They turn beautiful colors, actually.
That's good. Around here, sometimes they don't turn colors, they just fall off.
Is that
sometimes
right?
They're beautiful. Yeah, sometimes they're pretty and sometimes they just fall off.
Kind
of like hair. Sometimes it turns color and sometimes it just falls off. So.
That's true. I'm learning that.
Well, I am an expert in that. So, well, we'll go ahead and get started this evening. Good evening to everyone. My name is Matt Wagner, and by day, I oversee the non-Medicaid case management system for the Missouri Department of Mental Health Division of Developmental Disabilities. That's a mouthful. And we're privileged to be here again with Dr. Unadkat. And Doctor, you are the CFO, CEO of Station MD?
I'm the Chief Medical Officer, so the CMO.
Okay.
Yeah, CMO. You said all the other C's except for the M, the Chief Medical Officer, and I'm one of the founding partners for Station MD.
Great. Well, we're just excited to have you back. We're kind of hitting the holiday topic this year. It's an appropriate time to talk about the holiday season, talk about COVID, talk about mental health, talk about all those things wrapped up into one. So, just as a reminder, Station MD is a service that is at no charge to all the individuals that participate in Missouri's Medicaid waiver, whether you're in the comprehensive, the community, or the Partnership for Hope. This service is available to you at no cost to you. It's not a service that is added to your budget, so it does not come away from your annual allotted amount. It's just a service that Missouri is providing at this point in time to our waiver participants to do our best to keep you out of the hospital as much as we possibly can. So you've already been pre-enrolled. Just as a reminder, you've already been pre-enrolled. Your information is the way to log in is on our website. If you cannot find your packet that you received months ago, it's on the website, dmh.mo.gov. Pick developmental disabilities, then pick the ribbon that says Station MD. It's as easy as that. And you can find all the information you need to make your first phone call and get set up with the app or to do it by phone. So those are just some helpful housekeeping topics. I'm going to turn it over to you, Doctor, because you've got a great topic for us to discuss.
Yeah, thanks so much, Matt. I appreciate it, and thank you so much for having me today. And really, the partnership between Missouri and Station MD is so nice. I mean, we were able to reach out and take care of about 200 or so patients in Missouri on a monthly basis, and it's really, I think we're making an impact, and it's an honor and a pleasure to take care of the folks in Missouri. So thank you. And I know today's topic about holiday stress. I wanted to actually focus on the caregivers and the direct care staff and the people surrounding our individuals with disabilities and the people that we take care of every single day, and focus on the family members because we're the mothers, the fathers, the caretakers. Around this time of the year, probably do experience a lot of stress, just like all the other Americans throughout the country do. And it's interesting when you look at the data, according to the American Psychological Association, approximately 30% of people have a feeling of increased stress during the time of the holidays. It's funny because you would think holidays, spend time with your family, it's cheer, you should really not be that stressed, but it seems like a third or to of the population feel that they're more stressed. Another a study showed 62% of the people that were interviewed felt that the holidays were at least somewhat stressful. And financially, there was a poll done, and about half of the Americans polled felt that they were put under extreme financial stress during the holidays. You take all of that and you add COVID to to the mix, and the fact that some people are losing their jobs and finding it difficult to make ends meet. The holidays can certainly be very, very stressful in 2020, as we were discussing before. Matt, is a pretty unique year, and people are definitely feeling like a lot of bad things have happened, and we're hoping that as 2021 comes around, that those bad things will go away.
Right.
But the importance of understanding that the stress that's associated with the holiday times exists and that it's not unusual is very important, and that others are in a similar situation, I think is the first thing that caregivers and caretakers, guardians should be aware of. And understanding how to manage those feelings is very important because psychological stress can lead to numerous medical problems. Things like headaches and migraines, obesity, diabetes, asthma, stomach issues like chronic diarrhea and nausea, reflux. So, all of these things are linked to psychological stress. Not to mention the psychiatric illnesses that could come out of feeling sad and depressed, and just not feeling yourself. These are all real problems that many of us are have to deal with and are challenged with on a daily basis. And the holiday times sometimes bring it out. Sometimes they bring out feelings of sadness because there are members of the family that are no longer with us, and we're used to seeing them around this time of the year. And sometimes it's just the stress of running around and trying to get the family together and buying this gift for that person and this gift for that person. What's going to happen when Charlie and Joe get in the same room? Are they gonna are we gonna have another set of fireworks going on in the home? So it's definitely a stressful time of the year.
It is. It is. And as you talk about all of you, we've identified a lot of the triggers maybe for stress. So maybe you could speak to how to address it, how to deal with it, and kind of begin to maybe have a better year, more successful year, because we're better able to deal with the stress that we're already feeling.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. That's great. It's a great transition. I think the first key is acknowledging the fact that these feelings exist and knowing that they're normal and that other people are also feeling the same way. Just knowing that and understanding that, I think, should put you and your family members at ease. Um, you know, our patients and the people we take care of can sense, even though they may have a hard time communicating and verbalizing, they can sense that there's stress in the home, and that level of stress and anxiety that they sense will really throw them out of whack and out of their routine. And people feel that, I mean, we can feel the stress when we walk into a room, and my patients and the people that you love and care for that have disabilities can also feel that level of stress. So I think acknowledging the fact that these feelings exist and that others around you can feel that level of stress is the first step. The second step, I think, is to be able to have somebody that you can reach out to, whether it's a healthcare professional or whether it's a family friend or a member of the family that you can lean on when you feel stressed, I think is very important. Identifying that person is key, so you know who to reach out to when you feel like it's just a little bit more overwhelming than usual. Setting some realistic goals is important too. You're not going to in 2020 during the middle of the pandemic, we're not going to be able to get all of our family members together, and just understanding that and coming to a sense of realization and say we're not going to do it. We're not going to be able to do that this year, and having that level of communication with your family members, I think, is very important. Um, and then if you are going to do something, and hopefully it's something small with your nuclear family, stick to a budget. There's no point in going and spending outside of your budget, taking out, maxing out your credit cards, maybe even taking out some loans. It's just not worth it in the long run, and just understanding that, it's the quality of the gift or quality of the time that you spend with each other than really the quantity or what you spend on. And lastly, it's planning ahead, and making sure when to say no, when to say yes, when to do, and what things are going to happen. Specifically from a healthcare perspective, making sure that you have your medications, making sure that all of the things, and you have the masks that are appropriate if you are going to travel, that you have your itinerary ready to go. You have the hand sanitizers, and you have the all of your medications packed and ready to go, so you don't run out. Just planning ahead, I think, takes away a lot of the stress that's associated with the holidays. And finally, I would just say, I know I said finally before, but this is definitely the end. Take a breather at times, just sit back and relax. And I think sometimes just reflecting on the year and reflecting on the times, and just seeing what has happened over the years and the successes, even though it's been a hard year, there have been some positives, and I think there have been some positives in everybody's lives. It's just trying to just sitting down and just thinking about it, and coming to, and just realizing that, hey, there have been some positive things that happened. I think just puts a positive spin on things, and looking forward to the new year, 2021, change and improving ourselves and having the right goals, and a vaccine for COVID-19.
Right. That's really true. It is important to not get stuck in a negative narrative. I mean, some really bad things have happened, but really good things have happened too. And I think it's really important to keep those things in perspective. So talking about mental health issues, mental health needs, kind of give us some ideas of what Station MD can do to support the mental health of our individuals and folks like that.
Definitely. So we are on call 24/7 and available for a video consult from a medical perspective, 24/7 and around the clock, 365. And many times, psychological outbursts or behavioral issues can be related and linked to a specific medical problem. So we are willing and are available to, and do currently, see patients that have acute behavioral changes for whatever the reason is. And we try to make sure that those reasons are not from a medical perspective. And we've also adapted and learned a few techniques on de-escalation and deverbalization, and just kind of reducing the level of anxiety and stress that some of our patients and clients feel, and trying to control that behavioral episode over the telemedicine visit. It's funny. I remember one time I had a patient who came in. He was a part of a small group home, and he had a behavioral outburst and was screaming and yelling and kicking, for whatever reason. And they called us and they said, "Hey, we want to give a PRN. Can we give this PRN because he's just uncontrollable?" I said, "Let's put him on the TV and let's see on the camera, and let's see what we can do. In the meantime, let me look up his medications and things like that." And we did, and he turned it on, and all of a sudden he went, and I heard him in the background while they were putting it all together and turning on the machine. And I thought, I don't know what I'm going to be able to do. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was a sense of authority. Maybe it was the fact that I was on a video, and sometimes it's like a video game or some sort of interactive TV show. He stopped, just stared at me. We had a conversation, and all of a sudden he de-escalated, and the outburst stopped. I don't think there was anything fancy I did. I think it was just the fact that it was a video and it was something different, and it took his attention away from what he was focused on. And I was able to actually do an exam and make sure there wasn't anything medical going on. And we didn't have to give a PRN dose of a medication. So I think that's a success story. So that's just an example of what we can do 24/7. We do have some psychiatric services available that are pre-scheduled, that are contracted ahead of time. So it's not on demand like the medical services are, but we do have them available. And certainly they're available to the folks in Missouri, but they would just need to contact us directly, and we could set something up that's separate from what we do from the medical perspective, which is part of the waiver program.
Great. I think that that's really a great way to kind of close out tonight's segment, and that is to just remember that Station MD is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's really important to highlight that you, doctor, and the doctors that you will encounter are trained to work with individuals with developmental disability. Okay, it's not an add-on, it is a specific service for our folks. And we've seen an uptick in COVID. Missouri has seen an uptick. It's so important right now that if we can avoid the hospital, if we can avoid the urgent care, if we can avoid the grocery store, if we absolutely have to, if we can avoid contact, we do that to keep ourselves healthy, to keep those that we love healthy, because sickness adds to stress, right? It just does. So with that, we just really appreciate, doctor, that you take time to come to us, because we know that it's 7:15 here, but it's 8:15 there, right? So we appreciate you staying up a little later for us Missourians. But remember, this is a support and a service available to our waiver participants. Keep you healthy. It's because we care. Missouri cares. We care about the folks that we support. And we want to do our best to keep everybody as healthy as we can as we finish up the year. So we wish everybody a very happy holiday season. Reach out to Station MD if you have questions. If in doubt, call. Right? If in doubt,
Absolutely.
call. No matter what, pick up the phone, get registered, and talk with a doc.
100%.
So anything else, doctor, before we call it a night?
No, thank you for having me, and happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays, and I hope everybody stays safe and well.
Thank you, doctor. Everybody take care. Now, just as a reminder, we will not be responding to questions right now, but we will respond to any questions or comments that need a response in the days to come. So have a great one. We'll talk to you all soon.
Bye, everybody.